There is an old saying among spiritual seekers that goes, when the student is ready, the teacher appears nearby. This morning I want to tell you how that manifested in my life. As I look back over the years, I realize that the most profound moments of my life came at the beginning of my spiritual journey. This moment was indeed life-changing, although certainly I did not fully understand it then. I now see that I was guided by Spirit as surely as if my guardian had materialized in front of me and pointed the way. I grew up in Laguna Beach, and at about age 12, I fell in love with the ballet. A very fine, old-school Russian teacher had come to our town, and so I found myself studying ballet and learning how to work, and work hard. One day, a young girl about my age came with her family to inquire about the classes. This was the Day family, and Dorothy, their daughter, was earnestly hoping and studying to become a professional dancer. They lived in Oceanside, but it was decided that Dorothy would come to Laguna to study with my teacher. We soon realized that she should stay overnight at my house on Fridays so she could get the Friday afternoon class and then follow with 2 more classes on Saturday, and thereby eliminating 2 bus rides. And that is how we became friends, dear friends. Now, fast forward a little bit, and I want you to imagine 2 young girls sitting on my bed discussing all the many things young girls talk about. Certainly about ballet dancing, that was a big one. Maybe a little about boys, not too much. But in her conversations, Dorothy often spoke of a Flower Newhouse who could see angels and fairies. As things progressed, she had even more wonders to tell me of, but she said rather cautiously, if I tell you these things, you have to promise to believe them. I immediately promised I would believe, and strangely, I don't think I've ever doubted the truth of Flower's teachings from that time on. So the story of Flower and Lawrence and Questhaven unfolded. I was fascinated as she told me about this woman who possessed clairvoyance to see into the inner worlds. I had never even heard of the inner worlds. Imagine someone who could not only see angels and nature beings, and even great perfected ones, but actually communicate with them. To me, it sounded like fairyland. It was not long until I was invited to spend a weekend in Oceanside with the Day family. I would attend church with them on Sunday, and then perhaps I might even have a meeting with Flower. Remembering now my sense of excitement and exhilaration, I can see that it was rather unusual for a 14-year-old to have those feelings about meeting a spiritual teacher. Now I see that I was really tuning into my own spiritual destiny. It was not a short drive from Oceanside to Questhaven in those days, mostly country roads. The oak trees we still see arching over the road as we approach Questhaven made the trip seem magical. And sometimes I still can feel that magic from so long ago as I pass through them once again. Flower spoke to us out under the trees in the old oak grove that day. I don't believe Chapelito had even been built then. As you all know, she had a beautiful voice, and the way she spoke was unique. Later, I learned she had been trained for speaking in the school of Pythagoras, and never have I heard anyone who could match her. She had a gentle and loving way about her, you all know that, but she also carried great power and authority. I do not remember what she spoke about that day. It didn't really matter. I knew in that first experience I had found my teacher. I had also found my people, but I didn't really know it then. After the service, Dorothy was able to formally introduce me to Flower, and we actually spoke for a few moments. I will always remember her eyes. Her eyes were a golden color, and I'd never seen eyes that color before, nor have I since. I was able to write Flower afterward, as people often did, and her letter of response came quickly, and she answered all my questions, telling me many things. As one wants to know who they truly are and where they've come from, it was wonderful to find I'd a life in Egypt and in Greece, and also many others. And yes, I did have a guardian angel. I was 14, folks. I know she told me other things, but mostly I've forgotten them now. The whole experience was precious to me, and I believe it was supreme for this lifetime. From the perspective of time, one can see how beautifully one's life experience are woven together, how important each experience that comes to us is in our unfoldment. Those things that give us joy and those things that try our very souls, all must be seen in the light of our journey upward. I've had many wonderful moments in my life since, but nothing compares with that beautiful Sunday morning so long ago. Dear friends, let us never doubt that immense forces are behind us, bringing to our life exactly what we need. Each of us is treasured by God and the Lord Christ, and is never forgotten or overlooked. So, isn't it wonderful to know that when the student is ready, the teacher appears close by?